Hello and welcome to London Oven, where I take traditional British recipes and remake them with US ingredients. Today we'll be making a Christmas favourite, mince pies. No Christmas party celebration is complete in the UK without your traditional mince pie, and I'm going to show you how to make it in just a couple of steps. So let's do a quick run through of our ingredients. I have 1 cup of butter. This is cubed and it's cold from the refrigerator. I have 1 orange, which I'm going to grate the rind in a second. I have 1 whisked egg, 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, half a cup of confectioner sugar, or we call it in the UK, icing sugar, and then I've got my traditional mincemeat. Now this is a pre-made mincemeat in a jar. You can make your own. If you'd like to see that recipe, drop your comments in the link below. So, let's get going. Starting with the butter, adding the flour, and then we're going to do our usual. With freshly washed hands, we're going to crumble that mixture. And as usual, we just want to rub your cold butter in between the flour until it forms into flakes. If you want to use a food processor, you can. You want it on the pulse setting, and you want to pulse it a couple of times until it looks like breadcrumbs. I prefer the hand method just because it's easier to stop at just the right time, but you can use a food processor, no problem. All right, let's crumble. So we're in a good spot with our flour and butter. So now I'm going to just stir in, that's the orange rind that I grated. And then I have my icing sugar. And then we're just going to give it a quick stir to incorporate all those flavors. Just want to give it a good mix, so we don't want all the rind concentrated in just one area. All right, that looks good to me. Now I'm going to throw in my egg. This was 1 egg which I whisked. And let's give this a stir and bring it into a dough. So while our pastry is resting in the fridge, let's run through the tools for our next steps. I have a standard 12-hole cupcake tray. I have a cookie cutter that's 3 inches wide, and then I have a star-shaped cutter that's slightly smaller, and then you have the illustrious mincemeat. The name can be deceptive. There's no meat in there. It's really like a fruit preserve with currants, sultanas, apricots, oranges, peel, that kind of thing. It used to be called mincemeat because there was meat in it, but now it's purely fruit. Like I said, you can make your own or save yourself a hassle and use the jar. Right, so I've got my dough out the fridge. I'm going to turn it out onto a lightly floured surface. To make it easier to manage, I'm just going to slice it in half and do 1 half at a time. So let's get this dough rolled out. You want your dough to be as thin as possible so you have a really crisp shape and shell for your mince pie. Oops, so let's get rolling. All right, that looks pretty thin to me. Let's start shaping up. I'm going to start with my circles. Okay, so I've got my pastry circles in my pan, and now I'm just going to use my fingers to gently spread out that dough so it comes up the sides of my tray and makes my mince pie cases a little deeper. So our next step, we're going to roll the other part of our dough to make lids of our mince pies. You want to roll it as thin as possible so you get a really light crisp shell on your mince pie. And if your dough's sticking like mine, splash of flour. And there you have it, mince pies, perfect for any Christmas occasion. And yes, you guessed it, perfect with a cup of tea.